Hi Malaka.
Hi Harley.
Hello everybody listening.
Hi guys.
Welcome back to Sonder and Salt, the weekly food podcast about the magic of eating. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm a bit cold. Winter starts when officially? November? December?
Yeah, because autumn started in September, right? But we were still in a heat wave.
October, November. Yeah.
And it
I give
ran into October.
I give up with seasons anymore. I feel like climate change, they need to readjust them. And when they readjust them, they also need to readjust the fashion calendar with them.
Oh.
Because why are you selling me stuff now?
Yeah.
You know,
They wiped out all the summer stuff from early, and then we were still in a heat wave, and it was crazy. Some people were complaining about the clocks going back and like the history of the clock adjustments and the fact that we need to just make a choice right now and let it go. Because time is a man-made construct, and it's clear when we fiddle with the clocks each year.
a timeless society, a timeless world. Nah, not for me.
No, that wouldn't work for me.
That wouldn't work for me.
Yeah.
Speaking of time, now is a great time to rate and review this podcast if you enjoy it. On Spotify, you can click where the stars are, and on Apple, scroll right down to the bottom of the Sonder and Salt episode page or the profile page, and you will see a little place where you can write us a little paragraph, let us know, who you are, where you are, what you like, what you don't like. This week, we have listeners joining us from South Korea.
Annyeong.
Annyeong.
I think so.
Around the world with Malaka Miles. Annyeong. To our new listeners in South Korea, I need to redo the tally. I think I've been saying over 80 countries for a little while now. It might be over 90 countries.
Really?
I don't know if I've introduced 10 countries since.
Oh my goodness.
But thank you so much for rocking with us wherever in the world you are.
So what's your food highlight of the week, Harley?
My food highlight of the week is quite a simple one.
Mm-hmm.
Not too much to say, but it was pancakes at Where the Pancakes Are, which I think we've discussed in, I want to guess and say season 2, episode 7 pancakes, I think.
Maybe.
It's
You're gambling right now.
You know what it is? It's because it's one of our most popular episodes, and it's on the homepage of the website. So I feel like I've seen the title of it many times. If it's season 2, episode 7, I'm feeling confident about that.
Okay.
We have a whole episode all about pancakes, I think, where you discussed that you've been there before.
I went for Pancake Day this year. They have a gluten-free... The reason why we went as well is because they have a gluten-free option, which I wouldn't necessarily say is the best gluten-free pancake. I think I could make better ones with the free...
Your favourite flour.
Gluten-free self-raising.
Yeah.
But I appreciated the fact that I could get a gluten-free pancake on Pancake Day.
I just got the regular pancakes. They offer buttermilk pancakes, like American fluffy style, but they also do Dutch pancakes, that more like Yorkshire puddings. So this time around, I was just getting standard buttermilk pancakes with bacon. I don't want to say crispy. It wasn't really crispy. You know when you have like bacon rashers, but they go kind of like, they're cooked.
They've been under the light for too long?
No, but I don't think they were ever supposed to be crispy. Okay. They were kind of almost chewy.
Oh, I see. Are you one of those people when you go to... Do you like American style cooking of bacon? Because I think it's awful.
Wait, define what you're saying.
When it is literally like
Crisps.
Bacon snaps.
Oh, I do.
Really?
Yeah, but not all the time. Like,
I like how they cook it in France or like in Amsterdam.
Yeah,
I love when I've had
I think
bacon
that's different.
over there.
Yes, it's different. We acknowledge it's different. I think the quality of meat is so much nicer in Europe.
Yeah.
But I don't necessarily like that thicker cut of bacon because that's how it cooks differently. I think those thin rashers that you get that are just like turned to crisps.
I don't like that. I like
time and a place.
I like it like that when it's sprinkled on some tater tarts.
Okay.
As like fully loaded tater tarts.
Yeah.
Yeah, but in terms of like if I was gonna have bacon on the side, this is burnt.
Yeah. I don't want it to be that crunchy, crispy. This was almost like it had been deep fried because sometimes, not to say it's been deep fried, but when it becomes a net. It's like the bacon was loose inside.
Oh, and it's shriveled up.
And it's kind of like become a little mesh of bacon, which I actually kind of liked. Maybe it had been actually honeyed or caramelized or something.
Okay.
Tesco Finest bacon rashers. They have one which is actually maple cured bacon. So even when you just cook it off, just normally fry it or grill it, it caramelizes. Even though it hasn't got honey on top of it, it's like been obviously maple cured, so like maple syrup cured. So it's just so nice and sweet. Like it gets sweet and salt without needing to add anything else.
I like maple cured, like hot smoked salmon. That is so good. I know it's not the same thing.
Not even
close. It's maple cured and it's really nice. You get that sweetness in the hot smoked salmon. I really like it. Just thought I'd let you guys know that. I think they sell it at Tesco too. How about that?
Probably. But yeah, the bacon was really good. Comes with blueberries and some icing sugar. The pancakes I like. The pancakes take a little while, and it says it on the menu because they pride themselves on basically making everything to order.
Even the batter?
No.
Oh, okay.
The batter they say is sat for 8 hours, but they make the pancakes, I think they said they're slow to rise. Their like formula, their batter, their method. So it says you wait a little while. I didn't wait that long, but I will say that the pancakes that I've had at Breakfast Club, which used to be my like creme de la creme breakfast, like not even creme de la creme, but just like consistent. I found that they were making the pancakes in batch and serving it kind of school dinner style. Really? Because everyone would kind of get the same thing. So they were just always making pancakes because they were always using pancakes. And I just had a few plates there where I could tell that even the pancakes on my plate were from different batches.
Oh, okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
I
of
do
my
understand.
3, it's like, okay, those 2 are warmer than that, like whatever. So I appreciated that all three of the pancakes I had on my plate were family. You know, they were cooked together.
Family.
Hot family. They were cooked all the way through. Some
family.
ohana on my plate. Appreciated that. So yeah, where the pancakes are. And what is your food highlight of the week?
So my food highlight of the week is a restaurant that I revisited. I really enjoyed myself the first time, and this is Skewed, a Turkish restaurant in Cockfosters.
Yep.
I like Cockfosters for eating out, mainly for like breakfast brunchy type things. There is Middies in Cockfosters, which I go to sometimes when I go there specifically for they do a good brunch apparently, but I go there for their salmon, sauteed veg and mashed potato milk, because the portion is a big old piece of salmon, loads of sauteed vegetables, and the mashed potato is okay. Like, it's
Middies.
good. Middies, yeah. That's the only thing that I eat from them. Like, if I want to eat out, but I want to keep it kind of healthy, I will just go to Middies. However, on this occasion, me and my friend, we went to Skewed, and I really, really enjoyed myself. I like it. So I had one thing. I like it. One thing that I really enjoyed there is their scallops. They have this scallop starter, and it's scallops, really nicely seared, nice crust, juicy scallops, served on these little mashed potato islands, like piles.
Yeah, I've had it there.
And then they pour over the Malibu butter, which is like a coconut-based creamy sauce. It was so nice. I think about those scallops often. I really like that Malibu salt, that Malibu butter. Yeah. It's like a coconut cream butter. Really, really nice. And then I also ordered their like grilled octopus for my main. I will say the presentation of the octopus was lackluster. It was literally 3 juicy tentacles on a plate. So I was a bit taken aback by that, but it was good quality, fresh octopus. It wasn't rubbery, it wasn't overcooked or anything like that. Yeah. And it was cooked in like, it was grilled and then it was drizzled with like a nice, really good quality olive oil, a bit of fresh herbs and salt. I really enjoyed that. When I put it up the first time on my Instagram story, a couple people were like, oh, because it literally just like 3 big tentacles. Yeah, and you can just see the holes. I think that's called like trypophobia. Yeah, when it sets people, holes like that set people off. It actually can irritate me, depends on the size of the holes and how many holes are on the image. But I really enjoyed that. My friend enjoyed her meal, which is basically like a mixed grill that she went for. And then I had this pomegranate sorbet.
Surprise!
Pomegranate sorbet. So nice. I definitely liked that. And it had like fresh pomegranate bits. They're not seeds. What are they? Nibbles. Niblets. Are they seeds? You know? With the fruit wrapped around the seed, isn't it? What are they? What would you call them? Pomegranate niblets.
Well, no, because you would say pomegranate seeds.
Yeah, pomegranate seeds. And then I had some cocktails. Me and my friend, we love cocktails. She's always been like my cocktail buddy. So we always order cocktails and they were really, really nice. I had this, let me pull it up. It was basically a lychee martini, but it was made with beef eater pink gin, lychee liqueur and syrup. I think it's pronounced Cocchi Americano, Cocchi. Cocchi Americano, transparent citrus and neroli. It was like having a mirror margarita, if you've ever had one. Literally looks like water.
Oh, right.
Yeah, it literally looks like water, but it had a pink shade to it. It was completely transparent. And then it just came with a little lychee on top. But it was so nice. I absolutely loved it. And then my friend ordered the Tropical with Attitude, Appleton Estate 12-year-old Jamaican rum, Havana Club rum blend, Cocchi Torino, which I actually need to Google what that is because I don't know what that is, Skewed Tropical Punch, which is pineapple, mango, coconut water, forest fruits, lime and grenadine. And it was banging. Actually banging. And I was looking at it because it's 16 squid. I said, oh, £16 for a cocktail. You better be coming with something. But it was a big tall glass, almost like a tiki glass, filled with, it had a good amount of ice, but a good amount of actual cocktail in there as well. So I think it was worth the 16 squid. My lychee martini was £12. But it was £12 well spent. It was a really good lychee martini. They had like live music in there, open kitchen, really good vibe. I think they were playing like soulful house type of thing, but it wasn't overbearing. Really nice vibe. It's quite busy, so it can feel a little bit loud because a lot of people are talking. I wouldn't say it's like the music, it's just the general atmosphere. It's quite a big buzz there, but no, really good. Really like it. Really love those cocktails. So speaking of cocktails, I finally got Harley to sit down and start watching Drink Masters on Netflix, which is a reality TV show, competition game show, focused around mixology, and it's 12 contestants, 12 innovative mixologists from around the world, predominantly from America and Canada. Yeah, they're from America and Canada. And they are competing to win a 100k prize and the title of Ultimate Drinks Masters. Each challenge is based around making a cocktail of some sort of brief or something, but that's ultimately what they're doing.
Little challenges, little gimmicks. Yeah,
so it's available to watch on Netflix. I will say, in terms of a competition game show, it's not the strongest watch. I'll be honest. I did enjoy delving deeper into the world of mixology, getting into like the brain and the thinking behind mixologists and how they come up with these ideas, some of the terminology that they were using.
I even just liked the process of it all. So the challenges that I did see on the episodes I've watched were 90 minutes long. Yeah. And it just made me think of how much prep goes into the running of a bar as a whole. Because they had 90 minutes because they would like make their own simple syrups or make their own whatever. Or they had their own kitchens because they would bake something or blend something or juice it or you know, whatever, to get a flavor profile that they were looking for, smoking thing, all kinds of stuff, which made me just think like, oh, okay, you know, your bar shift as a craft mixologist might be, I don't know, 9 p.m. till 2 a.m. But you might be at work from midday preparing all your syrups and your botanicals. It did give me just a better appreciation for the process of like mixology and running of a bar, basically. Yeah,
when I first watched Drink Masters, I loved the experience of watching it because I love a good cocktail, and I felt like it really opened up my mind to like what really goes on in mixology, and then also what to look for or ask for or expect in my cocktail experiences when I'm going out. So I went through a little phase because I think I actually watched it last year or the beginning of this year. It was ages ago when I watched it. And I became obsessed with like, I'm only going to bars that do craft cocktails. That's it. Don't want none of this generic stuff. It's got to be craft cocktails. And I'm like Googling craft cocktails London. That's all I wanted to experience. And so if I looked at the menu and it's the same old, I was like, boo, boring. Like, this is not enough for me.
I feel the same way in terms of it was exciting to watch and everything. But because the first episode is about margaritas and margaritas, that's my drink. So I knew a lot. I feel like the further I get into it. So the second episode was about fruit and the way that they use different fruits. And one of them like deconstructed a mango into like 3 different types of ways and whatever. So it's like, that got more interesting. Yeah. So I felt like the first one, I was like, oh, they started off kind of margaritas.
They started off kind of easy.
Yeah. It's a good show though. I'm going to finish it. Yeah. Like,
it's interesting. And on the first episode, what was interesting to me is they had a lady on there that was a home bartender, Instagram bartender. Yes. She was actually the first person to go because she just couldn't keep up with the big boys. Her cocktails were very pretty, but the level of skill and complexity that was required, she just didn't have it. And I think that also made me not understand, because I already kind of knew. I don't take mixology for granted. I understand that it's an art, and so although I like to make cocktails at home, by no means am I a mixologist, or do I have the level of creativity required to push the boundaries as a mixologist.
Her title was home bartender.
Yes.
So is it different? Is that a different thing?
Well,
because some of those people had accolades. They were like, oh, I've won competitions, I'm this and that. So it seems like that's another thing I couldn't tell from the show, is whether or not Ultimate Drinks Master is a real thing or whether that was a thing Netflix made up.
I think that title, that is a title of that specific competition.
Right, okay.
Yeah, so as a mixologist, this is just another notch on your belt, basically. Okay, cool. Yeah, because you're being judged by professionals and people that are like top of their field. and with other peers that are also like
Yeah.
professionals and like seasoned and they've got the experience.
Okay.
So you asked the question,
Yep.
is there a difference between bartending and mixology? And yes, there is.
Okay.
All mixologists are bartenders, but not all bartenders are mixologists.
Okay.
According to multiple sources online, a mixologist is someone who has a passion for the art of drink making and therefore strives to learn not just how each individual cocktail or mocktail is made, but also why it is made in that way, garnished with this particular commodity and mixed using this technique rather than another. Ultimately, they are kind of seen as like the chefs in their industries rather than a cook. That's the way I kind of see it.
Okay.
So a bartender is usually like a service provider and they tend to stay behind the bar. They kind of do the recipes that are decided.
Yeah.
They make the drinks that are decided. They know how to make them and they should know how to make them well. And that's about it. If you're going to a cocktail bar with a mixologist, they usually have a higher level of skill, a higher level of creativity. And sometimes mixologists don't actually work behind bars. They don't bartend. They can operate in a consultancy.
Write the menus, curate.
Operate as a consultant, work in the background, curating menus, and then also creating a lot of the ingredients, like you said, like the simple syrups and these different things that go into the finished product that the bartender would create. Yeah.
I'm just thinking, when you were saying high level of this, high level of that, the last thing I was thinking was like high level of arrogance sometimes.
You think so?
I think so. I think you can tell the difference between someone who's like, oh, this is my drink. I feel like you can even feel it in the show. Like when you're getting served a drink at the bar and it's like, oh, what would you recommend? And they're like, oh, I'll make you my whatever. And I'm like, yeah, I want something sweet. Oh, it's not really sweet. Well, that's what I want. And they're like, well, I'll make you the best drink you've ever tasted in your life. And it's like, I hear you, babe, but I want a spicy margarita.
Yeah.
With a little something.
I think because maybe, I don't know, this is me assuming, there is probably not as much appreciation for mixology and mixologists. And so maybe some of them feel the need to like differentiate themselves within the industry. Like, I'm not one of these playboys. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm really about my stuff. I can make you something. Tell me what you like. Do you like it sweet, sour? Do you like this, that? Okay, cool. I'm going to make you something just by looking at you. Or you
That's
telling me what you
fine
like.
if I like invite the conversation of you and you display a certain level of confidence.
Yeah.
But sometimes you order a drink and they're like, oh, you don't want that.
That's never happened to me, to be honest.
It has happened to
Where's
me.
that happened to you?
I can't like name places, but there's definitely been. And sometimes I wonder whether it's arrogance of like you genuinely think you can make a better drink, or whether or not you just can't bother to make the drink I've asked for.
Maybe they're bored. I have spoken to a couple of them where they've I've been out, especially when I'd go out like solo a lot, and they would make things for me because when I've spoken with some of them, their creativity is stunted by the fact that people don't understand mixology and therefore order the basics, the classics, all the time. Yeah, and they don't order the stuff that really pushes them or allows them to kind of go, like really show the level of skill. And so when I show an openness, they're like, oh, great. Like, okay, cool. And sometimes I get so many free drinks because they're like, okay, try this and tell me what you think. I'm like, that one's a bit, okay, cool. Let me make something else and you can tell me if you like this one.
I need to go where you've been going. Cause
it's a whole experience. So definitely a difference between being a mixologist and being a bartender. But do you know the difference between a cocktail and a mixed drink?
I can tell you what I think. I can tell you what I've decided it is.
Gosh, I'm getting best before.
You know what? I
best
might
before
never
versus
see you
use
again because I know you're gonna stitch this. You're gonna stitch me up. I feel like I don't know. There's a rule, but in terms of my definition, would be that a cocktail requires a method, like a recipe to some degree. Like somebody created it. It might not be that person's mixologist at that bar, or whatever. It doesn't have to be original concept, but it's probably got a name as well. Like it's a something. Whereas like a mixer is like, okay, gin and tonic, rum and coke.
Okay.
Like the ratios, you might like it strong, you might like it weak, you might like it this, you might like it that. Whereas for a cocktail, for me, it's like it's got to be balanced, it's got to be made to a certain flavor profile, and it's kind of standardized across the world.
Okay, cool. So when I was researching online, preparing for this episode, I thought, is there a difference between a cocktail and a mixed drink? And it's actually quite a commonly asked question, but it seems like there isn't really it's a very fine line, and there isn't really a clear distinction between a cocktail and a mixed drink, because it depends on who you talk to and the perspective of that bartender.
Right.
One rule of thumb for bartending is that all cocktails are mixed drinks, but not all mixed drinks are cocktails.
All mixologists are bartenders, but not all bartenders are mixologists.
Every cocktail is a mixed drink.
Yes.
But every mixed drink would not be regarded as a cocktail.
Okay.
So most people consider a mixed drink to be one that includes one alcoholic beverage and one mixer. So chased with fruit juice, soda, tonic water. However, with cocktails, most people nowadays regard a cocktail as something that includes 3 or more ingredients.
Okay.
Different sources will say, as long as it has 2 ingredients, it is then now a cocktail by like historical definition.
Like 2 ingredients?
Yeah, a minimum of 2. So a cocktail traditionally has to have an alcoholic base.
Yes.
A non-alcoholic cocktail is not a cocktail, technically. However, obviously, as like society progresses and like things evolve, you can have non-alcoholic cocktails, which are technically mixed drinks almost, in a sense.
Punch.
Yeah, but I've had some good non-alcoholic cocktails.
Yeah.
On a side note, I think the only non-alcoholic cocktail that I've had repeatedly that always tastes good is some kind of non-alcoholic mojito. I think a lot of places can do a good non-alcoholic mojito because of that mint element, the ginger beer, the fizz.
Ginger beer?
I've had it, yeah. I've had a couple and they've always had like apple ginger.
I was going to say apple,
yeah. Apple ginger. It's like,
but
not,
I still want
too
soda.
much.
I still want like...
I've had it and it's nice. Have you had a non-alcoholic mojito?
Probably. I think we're going to get into best and worst, but
yeah,
the worst mojito I ever had was that duck on waffle.
Really?
It was kale. It had kale in it.
Huh?
Yeah.
They're doing too much. That's when the mixology goes too far.
There was a lot going on up there, the 40th floor. The altitude has got people going whatever. But yeah, I don't remember. I think it was still like a soda based thing. But yeah, the green in that was going off.
It wasn't good.
The non-alcoholic. Do you know who's got the best non-alcoholic cocktails?
Who?
Marks and Spencer's.
Oh, okay. The tinnies.
It's not the tinnies. It's almost the juices. So they do like a pina colada mix that is like, you can either drink it or you can add rum.
Yeah.
So on the actual label, it's like non-virgin maybe or non-alcoholic pina colada.
So the general rule of thumb is that a mixed drink is 2 components and a cocktail is 3 or more. But depending on who you're talking to, some people would regard some of these like alcoholic classic mixers as cocktails, but they only have 2 components.
Yeah, I feel like that because a Cuba Libre is not a cocktail.
What's in a Cuba Libre?
Rum, Coke, and lime.
So for some people that would be a cocktail.
Yeah, a dark and stormy.
Yeah, that is classified as a
cocktail.
Classified
a cocktail because it's got 3 ingredients. But...
yeah.
Oh well, I'm fine with it because it's actually reminded me that we created some of our own cocktails for an evening with Sonder and Salt.
Yes, we did.
And I didn't know that was the rule, but my thought process when I was putting them together was to just make them as simple as possible so they could be made as quickly as possible behind the bar. So we had Ray's Nieces, which was pineapple, lemonade, and Ray and Nephew.
That would technically be a cocktail.
Yeah. And I named it.
Yeah.
It's a cocktail.
It's got the alcohol, it's got the bit of fruit, and then it's got something to chase it.
Yeah. Look at me. I'm a mixologist.
Yeah.
I'm a craft mixologist.
Wow. Anyway, another...
And I don't work behind the... See, I'm not a bartender. I'm a mixologist.
Sorry. Oh, because you're working behind the scenes and the bartenders executed the plan. Yeah, fantastic. I love that for you. Another distinction between a mixed drink and a cocktail is the complexity of the drink being made. So while the general rule of thumb marks any drink with more than 2 ingredients over ice as a cocktail, some bartenders have more nuanced definitions depending on the complexity of the drink. So they would agree that if it takes more effort, more skill, it's just more complex, then that would be a cocktail. So a very unique kind of simple syrup, a fresh pressed tropical juice, and then a cocktail, and then some kind of alcoholic drink. Some people might say it's simple, but the complexity of how it's put together, how it's served, and all that kind of stuff that makes it a cocktail.
I would say that one thing that sits on the line of is it a cocktail or is it not for me are frozen things. Like
what? You don't like
slushies.
them?
I like them, but are they a cocktail? Like, to me, like, do they fit into cocktail world or are they a thing in themselves? Like, are they an alcoholic slushy? Because a lot of the time to me, they feel like an alcoholic slushy. Like, it doesn't feel like a margarita versus a frozen margarita, they're not the same size to me.
Okay,
Do you know
I
what I
think
mean?
I think they're cocktails. I think they're frozen cocktails.
Really?
Yes, but I think
But
I
I
think
just don't, they can't be as complex. They can't. They might be cocktails, but I feel like they're limited. They just can't be as complex. They just
Why?
can't be. I don't know. Can you smoke ice? Like, can you can you? Just the level
Yeah.
of like craft mixology, for example. Yes, you can make it a daiquiri, a pina colada,
Yeah.
or whatever. But I wonder if there's a limit. I guess.
I think in terms of the flavors, I think the complexity can come in the flavor. Ultimately, it's crushed. It's like blended ice. I think when you've got alcoholic slushies that are in a slushy machine, that is an alcoholic slushie because you've just poured premix into the machine and it's slushed up and it's got alcohol. Whereas a frozen cocktail can still have complex
blended
ingredients and then you blend and it's made to order. For me, that's the difference.
Mix.
Yeah, something like that. But if it comes out of a slushy machine,
okay,
this is not a cocktail.
Okay.
And those slushy machine things never bang. They never bang.
Ever bang.
The margarita is always too tangy. I think it's to maintain the slushy consistency over time. They're never good. They're just never good. They always disappoint me. In this article from Tasting Table, a bartender called Bill said, "For me, the term cocktail means an alcoholic beverage that requires care and effort in creating it." Okay, which I think is, I definitely think that's fair. They've also said that by the technical definition, a classic martini is a mixed drink, but most people would consider it to be a cocktail because of the effort needed to shake it properly and the typically more elaborate way that it's served.
Yeah. So classic martini is dry gin, London dry gin, vermouth, and a green olive or lemon twist for garnish.
So it's basically two things in the cup with a little twist on top.
Yeah, I didn't know that though.
That was in a classic martini.
Yeah.
I've had a classic martini and it's not really my bag.
So gin and vermouth.
Yeah, it's
with
not
a
really my
little,
thing.
I guess, green olive or lemon twist.
The lemon twist would be sour. Would be sour.
But the green olive is probably in vinegar.
Yeah, so it adds some kind of acidity, I guess, to balance it off.
So what's a dry martini?
It's made with dry gin, I think.
Oh, so what's shaken not stirred?
So you can either put it into a cocktail shaker and shake it and pour it in, or you can mix it, I think, in a glass and you can just stir it lightly and then pour it into the glass. Should we check that out, actually?
This has blown my mind because what is James Bond on about?
Shaken, not stirred meaning. So
that's it's two things. Why does it need to be shaken so vigorously and then poured so slowly and then garnished so elegantly? This is annoying me, this is.
So shaking rather than stirring a martini has two principal effects. One, the rapid movement of ice in shaker melts more of the ice than gentle stirring, thereby diluting the drink. And two, the drink is likely to be cloudy rather than clear. For martini drinkers, both effects are undesirable.
But James Bond says shaken, not stirred, right?
Yeah.
That's his thing. So he likes a crap martini. He likes a
basically,
watered down, cloudy martini.
I think it just sounded good. He was just saying anything. Yeah.
Because you know who else drinks them, like, famously? Kris Jenner.
So when you shake your martini, aeration occurs in the drink, which leads to a less strong cocktail while producing a smooth and evenly distributed flavour. It is with the perfect balance of strength and complexity that the shaken martini has managed to remain popular. On the other hand, stirring martinis will produce fewer air bubbles, resulting in a less complex flavour profile. Without the significant aeration that occurs during the shaken process, less alcohol evaporates, leading to heavier alcoholic punch. So unless instructed otherwise, a martini is typically served stirred as opposed to shaken to not disturb the ice cubes too much so that the beverage retains its cold temperature and creates a silky texture.
Interesting. I'm just looking at the recipe for one now. So I'm on Epicurious and they say it's 5 parts gin to 1 part vermouth. And there's like obviously a little comments forum and someone's comment is, I actually quite like it. It says, I always like to go with the old standby, 6 parts gin and 1 part vermouth. I do prefer Tanqueray, but there are a few others I can take. I
love Tanqueray gin.
I always tend toward the twist rather than the olive, but the gin must be 47%. For a martini, of course, there is no substitute for gin nor the vermouth. No gin, no vermouth. No gin, no vermouth, no martini. And then some other comments are basically saying that they just really appreciate this this article from Epicurious. We'll leave it linked below because they're saying, I consider every exotic variant unworthy of the name. Chocolate martini, but then espresso martini,
You know how I feel about an espresso
lychee martini. I love all of these things.
Yeah.
Now I'm curious as to know, what makes those things worthy of the martini title? I know this is obviously the classic martini, but is it just like the glass? Is it through the 3 ingredient thing? Is it anyway, I don't know.
That's the whole thing. One place, I haven't been there in years for martinis, but when I was first getting into cocktails, I was probably like getting into it properly, I was probably like 22. And I went to Christopher's Bar and Grill, where they do like the famous French toast that everyone loves in London. Yeah. But it is actually a martini bar downstairs. They've got a dedicated martini bar. And I went there and I wasn't really into martinis. I was still very much in my classic uni cocktails, back woo-woo. Do you know what I mean? Cosmo. I was like, oh my God, wow, this is great. And they've got loads of different martinis that you can try. So I'm sure the bartenders there are probably knowledgeable enough. At a restaurant like Christopher's, I would expect them to know like the difference like and be able to educate you on what that makes a martini and what goes into their martinis.
Yeah, because by that person's comment logic, an espresso martini is not a martini at all because it's vodka based. It's not gin over.
That's true.
And it's Kahlua.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, it probably is the glass that it's served.
Some kind of rule. There's some kind of rule we don't know about here. If there's any mixologists listening that want to come on the podcast and talk actual nitty gritty detail with us about ingredients and things, it sounds like we're gonna need an episode and break down liquor by liquor.
Yeah, I think so. Because there's different liquors create different cocktail experiences, but then they have different histories, completely different profiles,
and different respects.
Yeah, very, like, very. They attract different types of people as well.
Oh, trust me, yeah. Might not need to go down that road. Yeah, I remember one time I was buying cider to do like a mulled cider around Christmas time, and me knowing nothing, I was probably like 20, maybe younger. Just picked up the cheapest one, innit?
God, it must have tasted like dirty apples.
Acid water.
Cheap cider is hell.
And my mum was like, you may as well picked up K. That's what she said.
That's that street side drink.
Anyway, that's cool. Not a cocktail.
In terms of what actually makes a cocktail, this article on NIO cocktails, I think it's Neo cocktails.
I was going to talk about them.
This article on NIO cocktails breaks down, well, from their perspective, a cocktail has 3 elements. Okay. And they've broken it down into a basis, such as rum, gin, vodka, that constitutes the main part of the cocktail. Then there is a modifier, also known as the body, which binds the ingredients with each other without being dominant. Generally, these are vermouth, champagne, or light juices. Then you have a scent, so that is fruit, coffee, bitter, herbal liqueur that intensifies the flavour of the base by giving the cocktail a unique fragrance. So 4 classic cocktail examples: Old Fashioned, Manhattan, Daiquiri, Moscow Mule, and then 2 examples of mixed drinks that are not precisely cocktails are a gin and tonic and a vodka lemon.
Yeah, so that company, Neo or NIO, I was actually going to bring them up because I didn't know you were going to go into box cocktails or pre-mixers, or do we respect those? Or
I wasn't even going to go that far. But
go ahead. Well, no, it's just, they are a mixed cocktail that I had that are actually really good. They come in little sachets and they're letterbox friendly. So we were actually, my work was actually distributing them during lockdown. So it was for our happy hours. So every like month or whatever, every month the pandemic was going on, we weren't having our team socials and things. Obviously they had marketing budgets to burn still, socializing budgets, sorry. So that's how I first discovered them. You kind of order a letterbox box of them and you cut the corner off, pour it over ice. It's got instructions on it and they're all ready to go. They're not like need to mix. They're completely mixed and they're really good.
I don't think I'm opposed to those kinds of things, but because I enjoy making cocktails,
mixing
and
yourself, and
I like to go out and like buy the bottle, buy the ingredients. What I will say though is it's an expensive habit, and for somebody that doesn't actively drink, I'm not a drinker. I don't sit at home with something on the rocks. I don't really. Hardly love something on the rocks or a glass of wine. I'm not a regular drinker like that, so I've got a lot of bottles of alcohol, thankfully for me, especially after our episode about food hygiene at home, which you can find on sonderandsalt.com. Alcohol doesn't go off. Yeah. I just need to make sure that the bottle is closed tightly.
No, some of it can spoil.
Yeah, like actual alcohol, they're like... Like so the base ethanol. Alcohol. Yeah, exactly, that don't. But if you're buying certain like simple syrups, certain mixers...
What goes off that people don't expect to go off is Aperol.
Oh really?
Yeah, it's so sweet. Like I think
it's the sugar.
It's the sugar. Once it's open, basically.
Yeah. So it's not something I do too often. I built up a lot of stuff during lockdown. Thankfully, I have a little brother, so most of it's gone. All of it's gone. Basically, I would try it it just takes away some of the fun for me when it's like ready to go. Because I've got the whole kit. I love shaking it up.
Yeah, I've got my kit.
Yeah.
I have just spent like months picking a new bar. Like,
Oh yeah,
for
I
my living
remember.
room. Like months picking a new bar. And I just haven't really restocked it yet. I just moved everything in, threw out a couple of bits that were like old or just not interested in. Or, you know, that one drink that someone needs because they don't want to finish it.
Yeah, and you don't want it either.
I don't want it either. So I was just like, right, some stuff's just got to go. End of this Smirnoff. Bye.
Yeah, bye.
Like, bye.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, I was thinking the other day of doing a Costco run and just getting a couple staples.
Yeah.
Like, I've got no Ray right now.
Okay.
I've
What
got
I've
no Ray.
decided is that I wanna redo my little bar area, but I want to focus more on having like 2 alcohol bases that I'm kind of working through, and then building my bar around that for that period of time. And then once I've moved on to a different one, I then will build it around that, because I want to explore more different types of just really get into it, because I was just buying up loads.
Yeah, I don't buy a lot of stuff, but now I think I've got maybe 5 or 6 tequilas in my bar. 1 bottle, maybe 2 bottles are unopened. Yeah, because that was one of my New Year's food resolutions.
I remember.
Episode from the start of the year. But not properly, like not in a collector's kind of way. Yeah. Still quite like mainstream labels I've got sitting there. I want to get some top shelf stuff. Like, yeah, I think maybe that can be our 2024 resolution to like build out our bars properly.
So we're gonna go through a list of some classic drinks to order at the bar. You can let me know how you like them, or if you even like them. Okay, because I know you like a martini, but you like it lychee. Yes, I like mine espresso and I like it lychee. But do I love an actual martini? I don't know. Yeah, no. I don't know. So, old fashioned, yes or no? No. I think an old fashioned is like a man's drink. Yes. Ultimately.
An old man.
Yeah. Somebody with hairs on their chest.
Has been hardened by life.
You got hairs a smoker. Yeah, you love a cigar. Yeah. I think they go well with cigars. Yeah. I went through a phase where I was obsessed with them. I don't know why.
And you're not trying to get drunk.
No, it's a slow drink. It's a slow sip.
It's an evening drink. Yeah. I can see this man at a bar, listening to some music, potentially alone. None of those things are me.
Right. I have been ordering old fashions probably like last year. I don't know. I got to be in my bonnet. And
Do you like whiskey and bourbon?
No, but what? So a true old fashioned is bourbon or rye whiskey, Angostura bitters, 1 sugar cube or 1 teaspoon of sugar, and an orange twist to garnish. What I like are the adapted old fashions. So I've had an old fashioned that has got like some kind of flavored whiskey, smoke, and I think it was around Christmas time, and it was like really kind of Christmassy in the ingredients, and like cinnamon and this and that and the third. It was nice enough for what it is. Yeah. But after trying many old fashions, I realized this is just too alcoholic for me. Yeah. And I just didn't really like it.
I think whiskey as a whole is too alcoholic for me.
Yeah.
Even like as a young person who was out to get wasted at uni, I knew
it's OD.
I knew one Jack Daniels would
get me there. I was going to say Jack Daniels.
One Jack Daniels was going to get me there, but I would rather not.
Yeah.
No, I would actually rather not.
I was very much a rum person. Yep. Vodka.
I was Malibu Barbie.
Yeah. Really? Malibu
Barbie. That was me.
I used to love a Malibu when I first, it was my first like alcoholic drink that I liked. Malibu and Coke. Yeah. I thought I was so grown.
My dad drinks a lot of old fashions. Smoker, man with hair on his chest that drinks cigars.
Yeah.
That smokes cigars.
No wonder
you my profile. But he actually moved on to an old fashioned because when he went to New Orleans, he started drinking Sazerac. And Sazerac rye that is all it can be. Like the actual drink, the actual spirit itself. And a Sazerac is a very specifically made cocktail that a lot of places don't carry. Yeah. So once he realised that and he loves Sazerac, how he loves Sazerac, he was like, oh, what is in most places? Yeah,
not fashioned. Okay, well, yeah, not for me personally. I've had a few in my time, but not for me. Margarita. Yeah, a margarita is made with silver tequila. It says here. I don't know if it's silver specifically, but tequila, Cointreau, lime juice, and salt for the rim. Yep. Yeah, you love a margarita. Yep. I love a picante.
Yeah, so that description that you just said is a Tommy's margarita, which is just on the rocks, like classic. And it's quite, I mean, I can get through them quite quickly. Yeah. But it's a short drink.
yeah, it's a short drink.
But yeah, I can do a picante. I can do a margarita variation.
Yeah. I love a spicy mezcal margarita. I realised this when I went to Portugal, and I had it at Oyster Margarita, and it was a spicy mezcal margarita. It's the spice, it's the smoke, it's the sweetness, everything. It's like the perfect balance for me. I absolutely love it.
We were somewhere together, and we
The
had
Mexican place.
Tequila.
Yeah.
And I've had mezcal before, so I don't like mezcal.
Is it the smoke?
Um,
Because that's what ultimately makes it mezcal, like the smokiness of the tequila.
no, because mezcal is mezcal.
I thought part of mezcal is like smoky, like it's the smokiness in the mezcal from my research.
Well, it's another agave derived drink, but I think it's a completely different drink. It's not a type of tequila.
Oh, so it's not tequila?
No, it's in
mezcal is the replacement. So I'm drinking mezcal. It's not tequila.
It's not tequila.
Okay, so you don't like mezcal.
I don't like mezcal.
Okay, cool. But is it the smokiness of it, or can you get a mezcal that's not smoky?
I think you can. I think mezcal. And I have to look at the percentages.
Yeah.
Mezcal to me is strong.
Okay.
It's very strong, but they're similar and they're interchangeable in terms of making a margarita because they're both made from the agave plant, which is native to Mexico, which is why you can't get tequila if it's not from Mexico in certain regions that actually grow the agave plant.
Okay.
But I think that's also the colors, like when you say silver tequila, for example, or like Blanco or like all the different ranges come from different agave plants and are matured or distilled, should I say, for different lengths of time.
Okay.
What have you just found?
Technically, tequila falls under the umbrella of mezcal.
Potentially.
Yeah.
But they're from the same plant, so I guess it's almost like, well, I don't want to say it's almost like rums because rums are very different. But they are slightly different, and I'm not a massive fan of mezcal, but I don't dislike it. Like I take mezcal over whiskey.
Okay, so it says that tequila is mezcal, but to be classified as tequila, the liquor must be made specifically from blue agave. Yeah. Okay, cool. I love a spicy mezcal margarita. That's what I love.
There's some flavor profiles I really like with margaritas, like hibiscus, when you do like hibiscus salt. I really like that. It doesn't really do anything flavor wise, but I've had some also with sumac.
Okay,
like,
yeah.
Just
sumac
the salt
needs
like,
a little like citrusness.
Well, the citrusness is the drink.
Is a drink. Okay,
so it's
cool.
like the salt rims. I like it, like the hibiscus or the sumac. But anyway,
Okay,
nice. What you got next?
So Cosmo or Cosmopolitan became almost ubiquitous in the 90s thanks to the TV show Sex and the City. But this spin on the martini, so it is a variation of a martini, remains just as tasty as when Carrie Bradshaw made it famous. So it's citrus vodka, Cointreau, lime juice, and cranberry juice. This is kiddies play for me. I was drinking Cosmos when I thought I was grown, but I wasn't.
So same, but I was drinking Cosmos because Carrie drinks Cosmos.
Okay, I never watched Sex and the City.
Oh, I did.
Yeah.
My mum was a massive fan, but I was never allowed to watch it. And then as soon as I was old enough to watch it, I watched it. And I was like, how could you keep this from me? And there is something about drinking a Cosmo in New York. Okay. I won't lie. Okay. It ties back to Flavor, the episode that we've done on Flavor. The whole experience and having that nostalgic thing of, oh, I'm in Sex and the City. Like this is my Carrie moment. The same thing happened when I went for a run in Central Park. I was like, I am Charlotte York right now. Okay. Like I am.
When I'm in New York, I'm drinking Henny. I'm drinking Henny and I'm drinking Ray and Nephew straight.
Because you're in Brooklyn.
Yeah. Bed-Stuy, baby.
Hanging on the side of a bus. Yeah. And I'm on the Lower East Side.
Right, sorry.
Just saying.
I'm on the Lower East Side, sorry.
Just saying.
Yeah.
I'm in the meatpacking district.
Oh, whatever. in the LES.
Running around where Samantha Jones likes to run around.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, next time I go, I'm definitely going to try that Cosmo live. Just to like sit with it.
Just once. But yeah, I do agree. It's not the most elaborate cocktail.
Yeah.
Goes nice with Chinese food. I like Cosmo Chinese food.
Might try that experience. So, like, incredible
Chinese
pairing.
Food, yeah.
That could have been a nice, incredible pairing, Holly.
Oh. Just add it to the list.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Negroni? No. So Negroni is gin, Campari, sweet vermouth. Nope. Moving on because I'm not drinking that stuff. I do not like it. Mojito. So mojito originated in Cuba. Refreshing rum-based drink filled with mint and lime.
Mojito.
3 mint leaves, white rum, lime juice, and simple syrup. This is I used to be called mojito mouse back in the day. Yeah, that used to be my favorite drink. I love a mojito. My best mojito. I think we're in Amsterdam. I went when I was studying abroad with my friend. And I like my mojito sweet. Yes. It was the best mojitos I've ever had. I was broken the next day because I had so many, but I love a mojito.
I love mint. So do I love mint. I love brown sugar. I love that flavor profile. And I think mojito was one of the first drinks. Once I got out of my just Malibu and Coke, I think mojito was the first cocktail I ever drank. Yeah. Because my dad was like, try this. You'll like it. It's sweet. Like, it's got things about it that you like. And I remember being 17. My first, like...
What's the age of consent over here?
I was about to say, I remember being 17 and it was my first proper like bar, and the bar was called Apples and Pears. It was on Brick Lane.
They're getting shut down.
They're already no. Listen. Okay, it was a private party. It was my mum's birthday. So we had a private party, booked out the whole venue. But my friend that I was with, because of the school year, I was 17, she was 18, so she had ID, and they put this big bloody red stamp on my hand,
Really?
because it was a private party that said like "do not serve" or something, and I was just so fuming. But my dad bought me a martini. My dad bought me a mojito there, and then other people who didn't see my stamp,
got you something.
But like, oh, do you want a drink? I'm like, yeah. Mojito, but don't bring it directly over. Don't walk straight over here just in case they see you giving it to me.
Oh my god!
But I also the next day, well, I mean, we had a big party, but we were all a little broken, and I remember thinking to myself,
yeah, I love a mojito. I'm not really into the mojito variations. Give it to me straight, and I just like it sweet. I'm not really into like lychee mojito or like a strawberry mojito.
I don't like strawberry
passion fruit mojito. I just don't really care for them. I love a good mojito.
But you know what can go well? Sorry, I know I said the kale one didn't work, but I don't.
A kale mojito?
No. Sorry. Yeah, that's what happened. The duck and waffle one.
Yeah, you want like? Oh yeah.
No, I'm saying I know I said the kale one didn't work, but there are other herbs that I think I've had that did work. I think it was actually nojito, but there was basil in it.
Okay. Oh no.
Okay, next.
Whiskey sour.
No.
So
I don't know any of these sours usually, and this is my perception. Yeah, it's got egg whites in it.
So yeah, whiskey, lemon juice, sugar, and egg white, which is optional. I'm not big on a whiskey sour.
Pisco sour.
And amaretto sour. Love it.
And I
love it.
All of those have egg whites in.
You can request to not have the egg white, or in some bars now they'll use aquafaba, which is chickpea fluff. And instead of the egg white, but I want it with the egg white. When it's done properly,
what does it taste
I
like?
don't taste. It's texture. It's silkiness. I think if they use a good egg and they do it right. And I think some of them add just like a hint of like lemon juice just to cut that really eggy smell.
They shouldn't be using egg. That's the thing.
Yeah, you need it for the
No, but like in bars, if I see a bar and I see them cracking an egg, that means the egg is not pasteurized. So now I'm like, now you're playing with
cool
fire.
Blime. Anyway, really good. And cool blime. And amaretto sour, it's a bit of me.
Season 3, episode 14, filthy food hygiene in restaurants.
They might not be using actual eggs though. They might be using egg white liquid.
If I see egg white liquid, that's fine.
They might be using egg white liquid.
And reasons of scale, they probably are.
Yeah.
I just can't get my head around it.
Probably. A spritz, low on alcohol, high on refreshment. The spritz has been a crowd-pleasing favourite aperitivo for more than 2 centuries. So it can be made with any amaro or liqueur as base. By far, the best-known version is a classic and dead Aperol spritz. So
mouth.
Equal parts Aperol, Cinzano, Prosecco, and a splash of soda.
Don't like you can't read the names just because you don't like it.
Nope. Don't like Aperol spritz. Absolutely horrible.
Don't do all of that.
Absolutely horrible.
I think Aperol spritz bang.
Are you serious?
Aperol spritz was getting a really bad reputation this summer. Well,
because it's dead.
Okay. Because people were saying what's something that you're convinced everybody likes, or like that people are lying about.
It's vibes. It's pretty, but it's just vibes. It doesn't taste good.
It's great. I love it. That bitter orange, absolutely love it.
Yeah,
absolutely love it. However,
what?
Don't like Campari. So there are other spritzes. So there's like a Venetian spritz. There's like all different Italian kind of names and cities, like different spritzes.
Yeah.
What?
I've just don't care. It doesn't taste good.
Well, the one that's got Campari, the one that's based on actual Campari, the spirit, not...
Maybe that's what I've had, Campari, and I don't like Campari. Campari is not nice.
No,
when I went to
like
Trinidad
Campari.
Carnival, they were pushing Campari down our throats.
Yeah, there are definitely some regions where I'm like, why is this your local beverage of choice?
Is Campari is Ray and Nephew owned by the same people as
Campari Group.
I think that's why, because they were doing a big push in the Caribbean around that time, and I think that's part of the reason why. Long Island iced tea.
Vibes. So just vibes.
Right. Okay. Cool.
Vibes and air.
Long Island iced tea. I agree. I think a Long Island iced tea is the kind of thing, if you don't really know much about cocktails, and also you're the kind of person that thinks that because it's alcoholic, it needs to be super strong. That tends to be what people go for.
You get sour Coke. It's basically sour Coke.
Yeah, and in a Long Island iced tea, you've got gin. This is mix up and blend up. That's what this is. You've got gin, white rum, blanco tequila, vodka, triple sec, and some kind of homemade sour mix. And the sour mix is like lemon juice, lime juice, grapefruit juice, granulated sugar, and water. And then it is chased with some Coke. It tastes like Coke and alcohol.
Yeah, it's
to
sour
me.
Coke.
Yeah. I don't mind them, I'll be honest, but it's usually if I'm like, this bar's crap, just give me a Long Island iced tea, get me over the edge, let me go home.
You know, funny you should say that, because the last time I was drinking them was in DR. Because the hotel bar was just like, just give me a Long Island iced tea. Like, I don't want to come back here for a little while. I just want to have this drink, go back over there, be drunk for the next 2 hours off this one drink, and have a little nap in the sun. Like,
I haven't had a Long Island iced tea in a long time because I just think they're a bit of a joke. But yeah, those are some of the cocktails there's loads of cocktails. This list,
so many.
We will leave the link in the show notes, but this list has over 40 classic cocktails. So any cocktail you like is probably a variation of something on this list. Most people like a lychee martini.
Yep.
It's based off of a martini.
We've decided most people like a lychee martini.
Sorry, it's so true. Yeah, I know they're quite popular though. I see people talking about them all the time.
The girls.
Yeah. What constitutes a good cocktail? There is a definition for what is a good cocktail. You like your cocktails how you like your cocktails. But a good cocktail has what is known as tension.
Okay.
So tension exists in the balance between the elements: alcoholic strength, sweetness, sourness, bitterness, saltiness, temperature, and texture. Flavor alone is not enough to make a good drink great. That's what they say. So this can be a whole conversation about flavor. If you want to understand what flavor is, we did a whole episode about it, which you can find on sonderandsalt.com. But I think from a mixologist perspective, what they're saying, what they mean ultimately is the taste alone is not what makes a good drink great. It's about the visuals, and they were really big on that on Drink Masters. Yeah, the visuals, the whole experience, the story that you're telling,
aroma.
Yeah, the experience that you're trying to convey. So it's all of those types of things. One thing that sticks out for me is about alcoholic strength. There's always an ongoing discussion on the internet about, the bar was crap because I couldn't taste the alcohol in the drinks.
Yeah.
And from my understanding,
somebody with a silent creepers.
Yeah, exactly. From my understanding, you should be able to taste the alcohol that is in the drink, but it shouldn't be alcoholic forward all the time, depending on the drink that you're having.
Yeah.
So it's really important to understand what is the drink that I'm actually having and how is it made up. You can have it how you want to have it, but some cocktails will be stronger than others.
Yeah.
But it shouldn't taste like juice.
Yeah,
I think looking to taste the alcohol is not necessarily a bad thing. It's just to what degree.
That's the other thing about certain bartenders. Maybe they're not mixologists, where they just. And I guess it's the environment. Some people think you're just out to get slaughtered. Yeah. And it's like, pouring tequila like no one's business, or mixing the whole drink and then just topping it up with more stuff. I'm like, what are you doing? Yeah. No, thank you, but it is what it is.
Depends on the bar you're going to. So
we had a drink the other night that had about 50,000 types of alcohol in it, and
and a lot of lime, or
I don't know what was
whatever
going on there, but
citrus juice.
The last thing he did was like, hang on, and just put more tequila in it. Have a good night.
Yeah, no, thank you.
I didn't need that's. You've never ruined it.
Yeah, that's why I like to go to a nice craft cocktail bar.
You took me there, so don't even try.
Did we? Did I? It was just attached to the hotel, so don't really know. We'll do another episode about bars in London, or maybe a couple around the world that we've gone to and we've enjoyed, where you can have where we think you can have good quality cocktails and mixology experiences.
Oh,
yeah. I will get Harley to leave us a lovely little poll on this episode. Ask you guys what is your favorite cocktail, and you can let us know. We might leave a bonus one as well. Do you think a lychee martini is a real martini? Once it's some kind of variation, is it real?
Yeah.
Or is it not?
No vermouth, no gin. Is it a martini?
Is it really a martini? I think it is, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
If you like this episode, please remember to leave us a rating and review, 5 stars only, and you can check us out on social media. Let us know what your favorite cocktail is on X or in the Insta DMs. Yeah, we'd love to know, and we can share them with everybody that listens to this episode. Anything else, sweetheart?
No, Starshine, I don't have anything else to add.
Yeah,
thank you guys so much for listening.
Thanks, guys.
And we'll catch you in the next one.
Bye, guys.